Morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. This morning's little video, well, we're going to be heading all the way along the front of Seaham this morning. We're starting here in the North Shore car park and we're going to be ending up at Noses Point at the other end of Seaham. I'll put a map on screen so you can see the distance we're going to be walking, but yeah, I thought I would do an intro piece first and we'll get cracking and get on this walk. It's a lovely misty morning. There's the roar of the sea. I hope you can hear the audio over the sound of the sea. But yeah, some real interesting light breaking through the clouds as well, through this mist. And the beaches are full of sea glass hunters, and that's a real popular pastime here in Seaham. We've got people coming from all over the country and in fact all over the world to come and pick up pieces of sea glass here in Seaham. So between us and between us in a couple of feet, we've managed to pick up all that sea glass. So there were factories in Seaham producing glassware, as well as Sunderland up the coast. Now, the majority of the glass that lands on this beach, I'm told by a sea glass expert, is probably Sunderland glass, because that's where the tide runs and it'll take things down the coast. And for real Seaham sea glass, you need to head to the beaches of Easington and pick up Seaham glass there. Now, most of the pieces we've picked up there today would probably be discarded by serious collectors, but yeah, it's just so bountiful. There's loads of it all over the place. Ideal if you just want to give it a go and get a new interesting hobby. So we're going to continue with our walk, because once you start looking for sea glass, you'll be here all day. Seriously, we will, I think, do a sea glass video sometime in the summer when the weather's a bit warmer. I think there's a potential for a good little video there, so we may do that in the summer, but for now we're going to continue with our walk. So this is the less fun part of the beach, where it's all pebbles, hard to walk on. So I think we're going to head up the steps and onto the promenade. One thing to be wary of this time of year is rock falls, and it's no different here in Seaham. We've had quite a few bits of rock come down off the cliff faces. So if you're visiting anywhere by the coast at this time of year, be careful. So every so often a bunch of volunteers comes down to Seaham and they do a beach clean, and you can see this is some of the evidence of it. Really good job that they do. So yeah, I mentioned the litter picking group there, and there they are in action, about to start another beach clean here in Seaham. Top work, guys, if you ever get to see this video. So folks, we've climbed up the steps there. I've had a little bit of a rest to get my breath back. Yes, my fitness still needs some work doing to it, and we're about to come across some of the more interesting things in Seaham, starting with the artillery gun, which has been added only, I think it was last year, possibly the year before. So this is the new artillery gun signage, which Durham County Council have kindly provided some information on why we've got a gun here. I'll leave a freeze framed still on screen so you can read about it, and we'll go and take a look at the gun that's here. So looking at the plaque on the side of the gun, it's a 5.5 inch howitzer, and these came into service during World War II. How it came to be here, I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully the plaque over on the other side, which I filmed earlier, explains all. So it looks as if the sun is trying to make an appearance, which is quite welcome this morning. To be honest, it's not too cold, even though it did say that it was about 4 or 5 degrees this morning. It's fine for walking, especially if you've got a hat and coat on. So we've got another memorial behind me here. This is to several lifeboatmen that lost their lives trying to save other seafarers out in the sea. So guys, we're here at Terrace Green, and we're about to meet Seaham's most famous resident, and that is 1101, or as he's more commonly known locally as Tommy. So Tommy was installed here in 2014. Now, it was supposed to tour the whole of the UK, however it started here in Seaham, and the residents loved it so much that they decided to get together, local businesses as well, pool some money together and keep Tommy here permanently, and basically that's how it has happened. Now, this has become Ray Lonsdale's pretty much most famous project. There are Ray Lonsdale sculptures all over the north, even up under the Scottish borders, all the way down as far, I think, as Grimsby, some over in the Lake District, down the coast at the likes of Bridlington. I think Scarborough possibly has one as well. Basically, he is now quite a in-demand artist. Very interesting work. I think you'll find, if you're interested in fabrication, welding, as well as public art like this, definitely Ray is worth having a look at. He's got a Facebook page, and I think possibly Instagram. Definitely has a YouTube channel as well. So go and take a look at Ray Lonsdale stuff, and I think you'll be impressed. So we've got the cenotaph here behind me. Now, if you watch Neil R's Greatest Adventures, he did a video here in Seaham. He came here on Remembrance Sunday, which was very busy, and he covered some of the ceremony, I think, as well as looking at Tommy. Now, one thing Neil did say was it was really rough. The seas were really, really rough. I'm going to show you the seas now, and I think if Neil's watching, this gives you an idea how bad it can get. And this is not as bad as I've seen it. It does get worse than this. and I'll show you the waves now. So this is Terrace Green. Lots of events take place here in Seaham at the food festival, and you've got a huge long row there of cafes, bars, restaurants, and this has really changed a lot in the last sort of 15-20 years here in Seaham. Everything's taken off really. We did obviously have 3 collieries here in Seaham which closed, and Seaham was pretty desperate at one point, and luckily with some investment from EU funding as well as the local council, yeah, things are on the up here in Seaham. It certainly looks a lot better for it. So behind me there we've got Lord Londonderry, Charles Stewart Vane Tempest. He was one of the mine owners here in Seaham, and probably one of the people that helped build the dock area. Now, Seaham was a huge coal producing region. We had 3 collieries here in Seaham, as well as the rest of the East Durham coalfield. So it was vitally important that they could export the coal. Most of it went down to London and places like that. And we had ports at Sunderland and Hartlepool. So the idea to create a port here to export the coal, especially from your own mines, was definitely something that these guys were really interested in, these industrialists. They had the money, and you can argue that, well, they made their money off the backs of ordinary working people, and therefore they're not prime examples of good people, but certainly Seaham wouldn't exist without people like Vane Tempest here. So behind me we've got the 3 brothers sculptures. They each represent one of the collieries here in Seaham. So Vane Tempest, Dordon and Seaham Pit. Now, they all operated at one time together, and then one by one they slowly disappeared. Vane Tempest is now a housing estate, and Dordon now an industrial park. I'm not really sure on the location of Seaham Pit, but these collieries were massive for the area, and their demise really did kill off local communities. This piece of sculpture here is basically the plans of what Seaham was going to look like. This is how they planned the harbour, and it was created by John Dobson of Newcastle, who was a leading architect at the time. So we've got some more reminders there of Seaham's, both nautical and mining past, and some palm trees. Who'd have thought that in Seaham? So we're going to head down now to the marina, take a look at that, and take a look at some of these absolutely fantastic crashing waves we've got today. So despite living near Seaham for quite a few years, I've never been up this bit, which has just been recently installed a couple of years ago, and it's up to the viewing platform. We'll go and take a look at that now. So from up here we've got some really good views of Seaham along the beach. You can also see the harbour, which looks quite serene, and then out towards the lighthouse as well. So yeah, it's worth the climb up those steps and have a look at you. Plenty of good views to be had from this viewing platform. So that sea is absolutely mesmerising. I could watch it for hours. I'm not going to bore you with more footage of waves. We might get a few, see if we can get some waves breaking over the lighthouse. But apart from that, yeah, absolutely fantastic. I love coming to watch the waves here. So we're here on the little beach, which resides next to the harbour wall, and just do a 360, and there you've got the lighthouse in the distance, the waves crashing over. So that was pretty impressive. Those are the waves I was talking about. Absolutely mad. This might not be the tallest lighthouse in existence, but when the waves are nearly double the height of the lighthouse, you know that it's pretty stormy out there. So yeah, I think we're going to go and grab a cuppa, bite to eat, and continue our walk along to Noses Point. So that's the viewing area we were on earlier, and now we're going to head over and grab a cuppa, I think. So we've got the historic George Elmy lifeboat there, a reminder of the past and all of the dedication that the Royal Lifeboat Institution do. They're all volunteers and they all do such an important job rescuing those out at sea who are in difficulties. So it's turned out to be a pretty nice day. Weather is definitely changing for the better. The sun's burning through some of that mist, but still enough of it about to keep things looking atmospheric. And I'll introduce you to the second Ray Lonsdale sculpture here at Seaham, the coxswain. So the coxswain here is dedicated to 5 members of the Seaham lifeboat crew who lost their lives in November 1962. So we'll head up now out of the marina back to the top and continue our walk to Noses Point. So the guys and girls doing Seaham beach clean have been working overtime. Look at all of that they've cleared off the beach this morning. Impressive work indeed. Well done, guys. So yes, sea fret has rolled in again. We've got loads of mist. The sun's gone. I think the hat's going to have to come back out, and we're going to head off now, make our way towards Noses Point. here we are, folks, finally at Noses Point. I would like to show you the lovely views, but today is not the day for that. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back another day, or I'll put some photos on screen when I've taken photographs on a clear day. This is quite interesting, and I'll turn the camera around and show you now what it is. So this is Dawden's fossil tree, and that is a piece of fossilised tree that was dug out from the colliery, and where the rest of it is we don't know, possibly was destroyed, and this is a remaining piece which they put here on the headland here to remind everybody about the prehistoric past of this area. So behind me there is what's known as Blast Beach. Now that was the beach that they used in Alien 3, which, well, you can't see it today, but again I'll put some photos up because I've been on that beach before doing a bit of photography. And yeah, back in the day that had about 3 or 4 inches of coal dust on it, so the sand was completely black. It's been cleaned up a lot since by the local authorities, and with some help from other parties, and yeah, they're basically trying to restore the beach back to how it should be. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bit of a walking video combined with a tourism video. Yeah, you get all sorts on out and about with Andy. So thank you very much for watching. If you do like content like this, please do give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps me out as I try to get to 1,000 subscribers. Also, please check out one of the other videos appearing on the screen shortly, and I'll catch you in the next one. I've been Andy. This is Out and About with Andy, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.